The most comfortable I've ever been in my life is in war. That is, with all the horror, with all the stuff that I hate, with all the stuff that I love.
Let's talk about the first one where you engaged somebody.
Okay.
Let's go right there. Where are you?
The op was, well, the setup was these guys were going to conduct attacks on Americans the next morning. Through signal intelligence, they found out that they were loaded for bear, had bombs, had weaponry, and they were going to conduct attacks on Americans. Our job was to go in on helos and then ground assault. Just a simple land and sort it out. Mm-hmm. So whenever we landed real close. Couldn't quite land on an L, but just because due to the terrain. And as soon as we landed, I was on this lead bird closest to the ropes, so on the tail end, and the other bird was landing over this way. And so big thing in my mind was to be, and it was all night vision, was to be like looking for that first assaulter that came in my spread from the other bird. You know what I mean? Obviously what's going on in front, I got my guy to the left, but really because I don't know where they're going to land. I don't know what angle they're going to come in on, but I need to see whenever one of our assaulters comes into my line of sight. So I got my mind on that piece. But dude ends up, they didn't have any weapons on them in the vehicle, which is weird. So we're getting off the bird, and he goes around the back of the car, opens up the trunk. And he has like bedrolls and stuff on top of all the guns. So he's doing all this, and meanwhile we're just closing start closing the distance. We're just moving up because it's like, it's intel. You don't know if it's 100%, but got an idea what he's doing. But then he gets everything that he needs out of the way, and he picks up a PKM, and because just the cutout handle on the side. And as soon as he cleared, it didn't even clear the trunk well, but as soon as I seen that it was a weapon there in his hand, that's whenever I started shooting him. And it was clear as day for me, as far as, again, so much training, so much time, and I was so hyper alert, not so much on the situation with the guy, but because I was looking for my assaulter coming in, I was like super high alert. But it was like every dot, I knew where every single round was landed. Until everybody else came online and started shooting also, and then everybody got out, and it was a big gunfight at that point. Well, they didn't get much shooting then, but we did, kind of deal.
How many of them were there?
There was 2 in one vehicle and 3 in another, so 5 total. But there was 2 teams, so 8 guys on the ground. It was over in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? They didn't get any rounds off on us, and we knew it was the right one. But that was the first time that, I had killed another human being, 100% sure, me right then at that time.
So throughout our interview so far, you've talked a lot about God. Yeah. You've talked a lot about being merciful, mercifulness. It sounds like you have been almost concerned that it would go out of control. Mm. That you were gonna embrace this rage. And it didn't, so how did it feel the first time?
Man, nothing. Yeah, none. It was like I did my job. Like, finally. Not like, oh my God, I killed him. I'm not a sociopath. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, my job as a war fighter, as a, hunter of men, bad guys, is like, okay, I finally just did my job. It was almost like a relief, like, finally, you know what I mean? I fulfilled my job description. Mm-hmm. Not like, a notch on the gun or like got my kill on, none of that. But like pure professional and purely like, man, all right, I did my job.
As a Christian, did it affect you spiritually at all?
None at all.
Was there any question, like,
zero?
What happens now?
Yeah, no, I had none. I was super clear. So I wasn't one of the, I and I'll just categorize it. I'm kind of stereotyping, but I wasn't one of the crusader guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Islam, Christianity, some guys develop that crusader kind of bond. For me and my relationship with my God is, and I am a Christian, but how my relationship works with is like when I go to before my maker, and I will, and I tell him what I'm done, I'm going to tell him that I murdered people. Because murder defined as, you had a plan and you executed the plan and you killed a human being. Like, I believe that it at 100% absolutely is necessary, and I have my whys of why this human being needs to die, and I killed them. But it's going to be up to him whether he says yeah or no on it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to hide in some piece of the Bible that says it's okay that I kill other human beings because this says that. If that is the truth, cool, I win on that anyway, But I'm not going before my God with some weak ass shit about like, well, so-and-so taught me and I was raised, But that's just my own personal belief. A lot of guys fully, need to and understand and embrace that mindset. But no, without a doubt, this human being had met the criteria of being executed, and I have never had a problem with that.
It's never affected you mentally?
No, it has affected my humanity. Yeah, but as far as in my job description, doing the job, no thrill or glory of it, and and it's like just the job, just the professional piece of it. But what was the question? I got lost.
Well, basically, what I was asking is, a lot
Humanity
of guys.
is what
I think
I
a lot of guys sometimes struggle with that. With well, this just happened. Now there's no turning back.
Yeah.
I
know what you mean now, and I never have, man. I never, and I'll expound on it. The only time that the killing got to me was whenever it started chipping away my humanity of it. But as far as...
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so what I mean by that is my belief system is I really, after all that I've learned about humans and spirituality and everything, like, hey man, we're not meant to harm one another's. We're not. We're not meant to do that. We're meant to be social, meant to procreate, you know what I mean, and provide for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that at our core, that's what it is. However, we also know that humans are humans, and, well, you know what I mean, and war has been forever. And some people just need to be killed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know how to describe it. So 9/11, right? 9/11 happens. Our country, collective decision was a reckoning. Like, they killed us. Y'all go kill them as a nation. I mean, there were some folks humanitarians that, understood peace and that kind of stuff. But, that's what we all went and did. And that's the job description. But this is what I learned throughout all the deployments, and I've killed a good amount of people, is that when a human being that takes another human being's life, and they're not a sociopath or a psychopath, it chips away at the humanity. And I'll just use I statement because I don't want to impose anything that I'm saying on any other veteran or any other person. This is only on me. Is that over the years and over the deployments and over the amount of times done, the humanity starts going away, meaning it's, what am I trying to say with that? It's easier for me to be hard, a little calloused around my heart as far as lose the humanity of it.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, where I'm not looking at this person, like I'm looking at this as a person until I PID them, and now they're not a person, or, they're demonstrating a threat. Now they're not a person. However, they are a person. And as a human being, taking another human being's life, in my experience, there was a toll on me because I am a human being. And over that amount of time, you know what I mean, it's just chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. So I got more calloused, more kind of hardened. Yeah. And then add TBI to that, which is part of the story we'll get to. You know, I mean, it turned. You know, it turned. But that was what I mean about the humanity piece of it.
Okay.
You know, but I fully get back to me being a realist, man. Like, war is hell. Like, they didn't just come up with that slogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was come from the generations that experienced it, man. All the innocence that dies, that's war. Like, that's war. That's what we're signing up to do is war. Then we experience it, and then we get to decide whether we want to experience it again or not. The most comfortable I've ever been in my life is in war. That is, with all the horror, with all the stuff that I hate, with all the stuff that I love, me as a warrior, as a human being, and the God-given gifts and the training that I've done and put on this planet, man, there's the time whenever I would feel home the most, man, is whenever I was making that walk at the Balad airport, you know, from the plane, going to get our gear to disperse to wherever we were deploying to in Iraq, man. It was like, and there's a why behind it. You know what I mean? I mentioned, number one, it's what I was built to do. It's what I'm wired to do. It's what I've wanted to do by choice. And man, just the aspects of it. The rules are clear, crystal clear. There's no easier living, meaning decision-making to me in ever than in war. It's kill or be killed, man. It's, you're trying to kill me, I'm trying to kill you. Whoever doesn't die, you know what I mean, today, you know, wins this round. And it's just so clear.
Do you think you ever became addicted to it?
Yeah, I did, man, once I got sideways with it after I got my TBI and stuff. Yeah, I got sideways with it because something had broken in my head too, man. There was a little bit of factors. But then I got to the point, like I said, it was super professional for a long time. And then 2006, you know what I mean, whenever I got my TBI, then it became personal. And that's when there was a little bit of soul sickness that happened with me. Again, it was still done correctly, but the intent behind it had changed. You know, it was a lot more personal, and that was more damaging to my person.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.